All right, welcome back. My name is Vineet Malhotra. The Supreme Court has released the inquiry report filed by the Delhi High Court Chief Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyay into the controversy involving High Court Justice Yashwant Verma. In his report, the Delhi High Court Chief Justice said he is of the prima facie opinion that the entire matter warrants a deeper probe. The Supreme Court also released the response of Justice Yashwant Verma, who has denied the allegations and said that it clearly appeared to be a conspiracy to frame and malign him. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has officially released videos from inside Justice Verma's residence where one can see stacks of Indian currency. Well, we'll talk about this and more with our guest. Joining us on the show is Mr. Sanjay Bansal, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court. Mr. Naveen Chomal, Lawyer Supreme Court, also joins us on the broadcast. Mr. A.K. Singh, Advocate Supreme Court, with us on the show as well. Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, Senior Journalist, joins us on the broadcast as well. Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, I'll begin with you, sir. Everyone is wondering, everyone is in a state of shock. There seems to be a sense of disbelief that what their deepest apprehensions were about the judiciary have come true. There is also this matter, Mr. Bhatt, of how the judiciary responded or how the collegium responded when these allegations came about. Initially, of course, everybody knows there was a transfer which was retracted, and now, of course, this particular judge cannot preside on any decisions. But this entire case, this entire series of events, Mr. Bhatt, has also exposed a wound. It's also exposed a wound that has not healed since independence, and that is the state of our judiciary. India is declared as a judicial democracy because, some tall and big and huge, humongous cases which the government also could not solve were taken care of by the judiciary. How, helpless must a common man feel, according to you, after seeing what's happened here?
Well, I'll talk as a common man, because all other my co-panelists are either judges of the bigger courts, advocates of the bigger court. I'll speak as a common man. And I'll tell you, as you very clearly pointed out, there's something fishy. And that fishy needs to be taken care of. Since independence, we have been talking about, how can judiciary function like this in a hushed tones? Now, when there's something like this, when is exposed, now when you find, see whether the person is guilty or not, I'm not debating that at all. What I'm saying is, judges are also one among us. That, keeping that in mind, when you have something like this happening, and the evidence is being put out for the people to see, there is certainly an iota of doubt in everyone's mind. And that iota of doubt could be either side. I'm not saying this side or that side. I'm not taking any sides right now. All I am doing as a journalist is a common man's viewpoint is if our judges are going to be like this, if our judiciary is going to be like this, what is the use of having judicial democracy? Judge might have a particular view. That's all right with me. That's not an issue at all. Whether this, this is an handiwork of some miscreants. I'm using the terms very, very clearly. Some miscreants have done this maybe.
Do you actually believe that?
Or maybe someone wanted to frame this person and did it. Someone wanted to prove a larger point in Bharat as such, and they did this. Because this is something which has not happened off and on. This is one of the rare cases where from a judge's house you have a fire and you find some of the burnt currency notes. It suggests something. And the geopolitical situation of the world and Bharat. I'm not using India. Because it's always like this. It's always like this. When something, is going to erupt, such things are tried and tested. I find this with our judiciary, this is a test case which has come out. And that's why, I'm not wincing my words as a common man, and I'm saying this, People might debate so many things on this. But the ultimate remedy lies in correction of the judicial system, which is much, much, much overdue. Vinay.
All right. Well, strong words coming from Mr. Himanshu Bhatt. Mr. Bansal, well, there was also a delay in a lot of these actions. 17 days perhaps have gone by now, or maybe 12 days have gone by since this particular incident happened. But the fact of the matter is that a lot is being said, a lot is being expected from the judiciary at this point in time, and the collegium has also become a focal point. Its usefulness, or rather its modernization or its reform, is also something which has kicked up in corridors where they feel that this change is necessary to revive and reform the judiciary. Where are you placed on that?
Vineet, thanks for giving me this opportunity to talk to your viewers. I would like to, in fact, start with the facts actually, which are very necessary to be brought in the public domain right now, because there's so many things flying around and so many things said by so many people that the actual facts which are now, whatever facts which are now in public domain, we should, I hope we should talk upon those facts only. What the facts which I have gathered it from the report and the material which has been published by the Supreme Court under the orders of the Honorable Chief Justice of India on the website. So I would like to refer to the report of Justice Upadhyay, Chief Justice Delhi High Court, which he has submitted to Honorable Chief Justice of India on 21st March 2025, which actually is a bit redacted. A long portion of it has been redacted, maybe because of the ongoing inquiry, some of the facts which are not necessary to be brought into public domain, but it gives us basically the idea of the events which have actually taken place, which are on record. So let us talk about those facts. The first fact, which is that the incident of this fire took place at the outhouse or store of Justice Yashwant Verma's official residence in Delhi. It happened somewhere around 11:45, as has been indicated, in the night of 14th of March, which was a holy day, and the judge and the family of the judge was not present in the accommodation. He was away to Bhopal for some personal function. So the police was informed actually by either the daughter or the PS of the judge, and what I have gathered is that automatically, because of the fire incident, the police call automatically goes to the fire department. The fire department came, they doused the fire, and when they doused the fire and they entered inside the room, this room where this all has been told to have been seen actually, they found 4 to 5 guineas, the bags of Indian currency, most of them burned. These are the facts which have been
and Sanjay, the next day they were gone. This money was gone the next day.
Actually, I'm coming to that. If you give me 2 minutes, I think it will be better for your viewers also to understand.
No, we all know the premise. Of course, you can repeat it, but be quick about it. I also want to know your opinion.
I'm sorry. I'll take just 2 minutes. Basically, on 15th, this is the incident of 14th night. Normally, what happens is if a large cash is found anywhere by either the police or by any other agency of the government, normally the procedure is that it has to be seized or it has to be secured. So the first thing is, there's nothing on the whole report that so-called cash was either seized or recovered. No seizure was prepared, nothing was done. The room was not locked. It was not kept in the safe custody. None of the, as mentioned by Mr. Justice Yashwant Verma, that none of his staff was shown the note. And on the next day at 4:50, the Commissioner of Police actually had intimated the Chief Justice of the High Court in Lucknow. Next day, 4:50 p.m., not in the morning. So what happened during this period? Whose fault is this? Because in the video, which now we have seen, it is shown by your TV channel also, there are burnt notes and large number of them apparently. So that was not secured by the police. Thereafter, the the judge, basically Chief Justice informed the Honorable Chief Justice of India, and then on 15th and 16th, certain things, it's all there in the report. From 17th to 20th, till the time this news was reported by Times of India, nothing happened. There's nothing in the report as to what happened in between, why this long time has taken place, what action was taken, why no action was taken, what police was doing, what the Honorable Chief Justice Delhi High Court was doing, nothing of that sort. So basically, now the reply of the judge says that there was nothing was there in his knowledge. There's no seizure. The initial report said 60 crores. Then we were told 15 crores. Today we know, after this release of this report, that there is no count of the report. There is not even seizure of those notes, which have been alleged to have been recovered from, not recovered, seen in the outhouse of the judge. So it's a very precarious situation, as has been told by Mr. Bhatt just now, that the situation can be read either way. After the reply of the Honorable Judge, which is now on record, if we read the whole report, basically there's no evidence of the any recovery of note or any currency existing in the having there in the premises, except this video recordings. So what this judges committee is going to do? They're going to interview the people who were there on the site. How they are going to proceed? These are the questions. So basically, it has complicated the whole issue, and a thorough investigation is necessary for both ends, as has been mentioned by my previous panelist. It has to be investigated, and the investigation has to be under the public gaze, so that people are aware. There is a question of
but there is no transparency, right,
and,
Mr.
honesty.
Bansal? There won't be any transparency. This is obviously the collegium that we're dealing with. Let me also rope in Mr. Chomal into this conversation. Mr. Chomal, do you think that this is perhaps the right time or a right example whereby eminent and independent people should also be constituted in a committee which can probe this manner? Mr. Chomal? All right, Mr. Chomal is not there with us. Same question for Mr. A.K. Singh, who's also with us. Mr. Singh,
Yes, sir.
obviously, the collegium works in its own style and its own way. The judges are going to judge other judges, and this is, in fact, something which the collegium has been criticized for as well. Do you think this is perhaps an opportune moment to change that trend and re-invoke the faith in the judiciary?
Surely, the faith of the judiciary is damaged, and we all are shocked and ashamed. Being a member of the legal fraternity, we all are shocked and ashamed. And we have no hope, more hope from the collegium of the judiciary, because collegium has tried to save Mr. Justice Verma. I'll take 2-3 instances. The alleged cash was recovered, and the fire broke out on the intervening night of the 14th and 15th of the March. And the matter was brought into the knowledge of the Chief Justice on the same day or next day. Despite that, Justice Verma held the court at Delhi High Court till 20th of March. Why was he allowed to hold the court till 20th of March? My question number 1. Question number 2. Do you believe if the news was not published in the Times of India or in any other news portal, I think they were trying to dilute the whole issues. So news was ultimately published and brought into the light of the media, and it was published in the newspaper. Then immediately thereafter, the press release of the Supreme Court came out, and the suspension was made. Later on, it was revoked. It was also clarified that suspension was not related to that cash recovery. And secondly, the DFS officer has released a statement that no cash was released, and no fire staff staff of the DFS department has not witnessed any cash burning or any did not find any cash there in the premises. So all those things were trying to dilute, trying to pacify the entire issue. The collegium wanted to save Justice Verma. If the things were not released in the media, was not published in the media, the facts and the figures that we know today, right, we would not have in such a manner. So we have no trust in the collegium at all.
Okay. Mr. Naveen Chomal, Lord Supreme
Yes,
Court
Vini.
also with us. Mr. Chomal, your observations of what's happened here and how is this, a big worry for the judiciary as well and the reputation as well as the future of the judiciary, which has often been hailed as the savior of Indian democracy many a times.
See, I am in full conformity with the views of Sri Himanshu Bhatt and Sri A.K. Singh. They have very rightly said the things. And Vinitji, please appreciate. Now, enough is enough. Let us stop calling Indian judiciary to be savior of democracy. We know what has been the character of Indian judiciary. Right from the days when there was emergency, judiciary was licking the feet of Indira Gandhi. And all the time when Manmohan Singh, Sonia Gandhi government was there, judiciary did not have any courage to speak anything against them. So much of corruption was going on. And now when honest government is there, they are holding it for ransom, trying to malign the government and the nation. So ultimately, we know the character of the judges. And ultimately, the collegium system, which was trying to be replaced by the law, and the NJSC laws was passed by the parliament. These collegium judges, they struck it down. So we know the character, and forget that. Ask a common man, Vinitji. You know better than me. You have got the ears to the ground, and every common man is fed up with the judiciary, the corruption, the nepotism, and the lethargy, the nincompoop judges being appointed everywhere. So let us stop calling them Bhagwan and savior of democracy. They are equally corrupt like any other pillar of the democracy. In fact, they are far more protected and more corrupt. In fact, that particular thumb is more corroded. So what has been rightly pointed out by Mr. Singh is that they try to push the whole thing under the carpet. But ultimately, where there is a fire, there's a smoke also. The smoke came out and smoke told that there was a fire of Holi and the currency notes were burnt. So you see, then they try to hush up the thing saying that he's transferred to Allahabad High Court and then it has got nothing to do with the cash. So now you see ultimately when the things are coming up, there is a video evidence, videography has been done. The notes are found to be burning in the house. Ultimately, it's a nation's loss. So we have to understand that all this corruption has to stop. There should be, in fact, channels like you should be the champion of the society now. You should have the, what you say, of course, I respect you, what you're doing. So we all must now raise our voice and demand that the judicial appointment should be transparent. And whenever a judge is caught committing a crime, he should be taken to task. He is not above the law. Let me draw an analogy. There cannot be no distinction between two crimes. At the most, there can be difference in the punishment. Supposing the same judge would have been caught committing a murder, then would the collegium system would have defended him that no, we will conduct an inquiry? Nothing doing. Then the CBI would have conducted the inquiry.
Right, Mr. Chomal, hold on. Let me rope in Mr. Himanshu Bhatt into this conversation again. Mr. Bhatt, what do you think would have happened to, let's take for example somebody like you. If 15 crore rupees were found in your house like this, what would happen to you? Wouldn't you be in jail right now? Wouldn't the ED be around you? Wouldn't your reputation would have gone for a toss? Or do you think you would have the same luxury as Justice Verma had?
Well, let me put it the other way around. If I have had couple of crores in my house, everybody will swamp around me. I'll not be standing or I'll not be talking to anyone. But tell me that, a millionaire YouTuber gets a hearing in the Supreme Court because he pays millions and millions to the former CJI's son. I'm talking about Allahabadiya. someone. You know, our CJ's son wanted to plead with him. And so, he got, in 2 days' time, he got a hearing from the Supreme Court. Whether Supreme Court did what, that's a different issue. But he got the hearing. It was in the midnight that a woman like Krista Settleward would get a Supreme Court open for her to get the bail. So this has been going on far too long.
So, sir,
And what's-
doesn't
you
this
know,
mean,
it-
sir, that the judicial system is rigged against the poor and for the rich?
Definitely. I would clearly put it up. See, suppose, as you said, if 15 crores were found in my house, well, I would say, well, welcome. All of you come around, see, there are 15 crores lying. But then the same thing happened during election. Me and you cover elections. In and out. In Chhattisgarh, from someone's house that was found. What has happened to that case? Maybe that case is not covered for the hearing alone. So what's happening? See, that's why I said, since independence, it's been going on far too long. And we have been very, very tolerant people. And still we say, Supreme Court is our my-bop and Supreme Court does everything right. Yes, in an essence, maybe. But then, people's patience are wearing out now. And such incidents, when the geopolitical spectrum you see, what's happening in Bharat, someone tries to light up the whole country, kerosene is ready. And such judiciary, such collegium cases, such things, there's a fire in a sitting Delhi courts. See, it's out of my thinking. I could not have thought so this 30 years ago. Can you imagine, Vinit? That a sitting Delhi High Court judge's house is on fire. Had that happened, can anyone in the panel tell me? This is one of the rarest incidents. And still people are quiet. They want to put everything under the carpet. Nobody wants to talk about it.
Okay.
And that's why, 14th incident, we are talking on 23rd.
All right, sir. We've run out of time. Appreciate everybody who joined us. Thank you so much. But this is obviously not the end of this very serious conversation about this incident. Thank you, everyone. All right. Well, my colleague Sambhav Sharma has held a telephonic interview with Justice Sharad Bobde, former Chief Justice of India. We're going to listen into that now.
Yes, sir. This is with regard to the allegations of the cash found at Justice Yashwant Verma's residence. My first question is, sir, what is your response to the allegations regarding the cash found at Justice Yashwant Verma's residence?
My reaction is it is far too serious a matter to be left to people's opinions and gossips and prejudices. I believe the Chief Justice of India has formed a committee to look into it. And we must all wait and suspend our judgment till the committee gives its opinion. After that, what action should be taken will also be decided by the Chief Justice, I'm sure in consultation with his colleagues. But then maybe you can express your opinion on whether the action is sufficient, not sufficient. But today we don't even know whether the cash was found. I mean, except for the fact that there are some news items. There is a dispute, I am told, even the fire service chief said that there was no cash found and then later changed his version. So obviously there is we don't know, maybe there's some manipulation going on about the facts. Let us see, wait for the outcome of the inquiry.
Right. So my next question is, sir, is there any precedent for handling such allegations against a sitting High Court judge or for any judge for this matter?
Oh yes, several of them. In fact, even about the CI there have been allegations.
Correct. And sir, what role does the Supreme Court collegium? See, their collegium is under a lot of pressure. People are talking about collegium. That is why I'm putting this question to you, sir. What role does the Supreme Court collegium play in such situations, sir?
I don't think it's a matter for the collegium. It is a matter for the Chief Justice whether to decide whether to hold an in-house inquiry or not under the practices, the rules framed by the Supreme Court itself. The collegium doesn't have much of a role, I think.
And also, sir, how will the judiciary ensure how will the judiciary ensure that such incidents do not undermine the public trust at large in the judicial system?
Well, the obvious answer is by not making appointments which will create such doubts. But you see, what is equally important to know, and it's a very maybe an unpopular thing to say, but the bar and the bench both have an equal responsibility to maintain public trust. It can't be solely left to the judiciary. After all, where do judges come from? The bar. And it's the equal responsibility of all to maintain public trust. And there are many cases which have seen complaints about some role of some person offering something. Then there are all kinds of actions they want. In fact, there are reported cases also of a Delhi High Court Bar Association president. But that is not the point. The point I'm making is it's not only the judiciary, the educationists, the bar, and the Supreme Court all have a role to play.
Correct, sir. Correct. So it's bar and the bench equally responsible to maintain public trust. This is your take on this, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir, for connecting with us and speaking to me.